we are almost halfway with the race class. And now, I think what I am going to do here, before we continue, is I think I will put on a few more upgrades, just to see what there is for this thing. And what should I put on this thing? You know what, fuck it. I'm gonna put on the tuning kit and the turbo kit. I think that just makes sense for me at this stage. And as for everything else, well, we'll just look to see what there is. I think we should be fine with that. Just a little more engine power, and then I think we should be okay. As of which I did also put on a turbo, so I just want to make sure that my car is going fast. I think we should be okay for this. So, it is now time for our final Level 2 Cup. The Special Racing Desert Cup. 3 races and 2,900 credits if we can win it. As we start off in Desert Town, Wreck Racing Havoc, in the outskirts of the abandoned ghost town El Pueblo. Well, it's certainly a ghost town, I will say that for sure. Although I will say there is a bit of repetition involved in some of these tracks we go to. That's not to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but I just figured it's something I would point out. Shit! I think I have forgotten how to drive. As in I have realistically forgotten how to drive compared to everyone else. It kind of sucks almost as I get hit from the side by Katie. Ray is in the lead for now, but I don't think he's going to hold on to it, because Jack is right behind him. And Jack typically is one of the fastest drivers in this game. I don't really know what's going to happen from here, but one thing that is certain is there is still going to be some carnage between now and the end of this race, as I somehow managed to squeeze under a rack there. Is Ray actually going to hold on to this one this time, I wonder? We'll have to wait and see to be sure, but one thing I know for definite about this game is nothing is guaranteed, and Jack has now got himself involved in a wreck. You know, if Ray actually is leading this race, then I will make sure I do everything in my power to protect his lead, because I actually do want to see him win this time. I really do. I want to see him actually get a win. And I will do that by making sure that the AI stays behind me. without wrecking myself too much. And I have got no boost left. Shit. I literally did nothing wrong, and yet somehow I still wind up... Oh, yeah, and now Jack's leading. Probably not too surprising at this stage. I knew the lead wasn't going to last. I was really hoping it would last, but now it looks like it's not going to. I think if this wasn't a 3-race event, then I would have definitely not considered doing this. Guess we're just gonna have to wait and see to be sure. Well, looks like Ray is gonna come up short again. Unfortunately. I do at least manage to lead the last lap anyway. And I also get the fastest lap, which is pretty cool as well. So after Ray led most of that race, he wound up finishing 7th. And I get slammed into the back by someone. I think it was probably Sally who slammed into me. Anyway, doesn't matter. We got the first race down after a few tries. And then... I think once we're done here, that's when I'm actually going to call it a day. I have made some reasonable progress. And I do get the fastest lap point by 0.3 of a second, I believe. But anyway, I win race 1, so let's go through the other 2 races and see what happens. As our next one is at Desert Scrapyard. As we head through those abandoned flight hangars. Sometimes I almost wonder if at some point in this game Ray actually is going to win a race. Because he's probably the only one who doesn't really seem to catch a break at the moment. When it comes to chaos, it just always seems to happen to him somehow. And I get drilled from behind by Jack. And here comes Ray again, who muscles Jack out the way, and I get spun around by Sophia temporarily. And Ray is off the road once again. So, looks like this is going to be another one where he comes up short. All things considered, okay. I was really trying to avoid that jump. and I slamjack into a few planes. Anyway, we'll see if we can continue chasing him. As I set a new lap record of a 54.69. Nice. And Sally is now out, as is Katie. So already 2 DNFs from this race, and they both happened on the 3rd lap. Six of us remain. The most DNFs we've had in a single race up to this point is 2. However, I don't think it's going to be too long before we wind up having 3 DNFs. Something that I can see happening before too long. And there's one of the wrecked cars, I think that was Katie, who I just ran into there. And now Ray Carter is out, so that now brings the new DNF total up to 3, for the most. Yep, that's 3 cars out. So attrition has definitely played a factor in this race. And over the line with a 52.25. So 5 of us survive. As I won once again over Jack, Sophia finishes P3 with Frank in P4 and Jason P5, the last of the finishers. And Ray Carter had the fastest lap of a 52.12 before he retired. And we had 3 DNFs. Ray Carter, Katie Jackson and Sally Taylor were among the casualty list here at Desert Scrapyard. Alright, 1 race to go. And then after this we can probably focus on grinding out the money we need for level 3. As I'm having a sip of my water, I got 3 slams in the end of that race. And no bonus rewards. In spite of Ray falling out of the race before he could finish, he got 3 of the 4 driver awards. Best Wrecker, Blastmaster and the fastest lap. Meanwhile, Jack got the Bulldozer award. I can certainly say that became an unexpected race of attrition. So it's 20 points to me, 16 points to Jack, and 12 points to Sophia. As we are now on Desert Oilfield. Ooh, I don't think I've actually driven on this one before. A wild canyon ride during a serious heatwave. An abandoned oil facility and a broken bridge are the main sites here. Okay, let's go. Are we going to make this another clean sweep, or is it once again going to be 2 out of 3? Personally, I don't care either way. I just need to make sure that I finish within 4 points of jack, and then I should be fine. Sometimes it almost feels like someone is trying to quite literally throw rocks in my face. And it feels like the more times someone throws them at me, the more times it just feels like they're going to get me with a hit. And I should mention a direct hit. As in, it feels like I'm just having rocks constantly thrown in my face. And yet the rocks I'm hitting always have to be direct hits. That's what they always have to be. Or basically just shooting me with a direct hit. That's probably what this is more like. Where the bullets are just always targeting my vital organs. And always just getting perfect hits. That's kind of what this feels like right now. As in, it feels like I'm just being treated like a target. And it feels like because they're treating me like a target, that it's almost impossible to justify if whether or not this track is actually any fun or not. I think it still is, but when you have so much debris just practically showering you like a heavy rainstorm, it's almost impossible to know if what you're actually doing is enough. It's almost like you're just saying to yourself that enough is never enough. Get the fuck out my way, Jack. Honestly. The amount of times I feel like I've been involved in a skirmish with Jack, it's almost like I'm basically asking for pointers. Or pounds almost every time that happens. Because it just feels like it's getting more and more ridiculous every time. Honestly, it really is. Just feeling like it's getting more and more ridiculous. Yeah. At least I'm catching up to Sophia, which is one thing. Doesn't look like I'm gonna catch her in time either. But at least I finished ahead of Jack, which is what I needed to do. Yeah, Sophia was basically just the class of the field in that one. You know what? Because I haven't done it yet, I'm just gonna get my replay now. God, that was hard. That probably felt a lot harder than it needed to be. And that's probably because I'm recording this on a hot summer's day. Well, a hot Friday summer's day. I can definitely say I was sweating through that one. It was definitely testing my skill. But eventually, I did manage to get it finished. and that was the main thing I needed to do. It's honestly kind of sad up to this point of the game that Ray has not won a race yet. But I suppose at some point, if circumstances do manage to go his way, then eventually he will win a race. I think every one of us except for Ray, if I recall correctly, has won at least one race. Although, I can certainly say this desert was very hard to navigate, with just all the bits of debris that you constantly have to avoid, both on and off the road, and just how many roads and cacti you also have to keep your eyes on as well. Aside from that unsturdy bridge across the canyon. I really feel like the heat was just causing me to lose my concentration a few times. And maybe that's because the heat is making me tired. That could be what it is. But I did find a way to cope, and that's the important thing. Okay, I'm heading off now. So those are your results. Sophia wins over myself and Jason, and Sophia was very much the class of the field in that race. With Ray once again coming up short as he finished 4th, with Sally 5th, Jack finishing 6th, who was my main rival, Frank 7th, and Katie finished in 8th. So I gain another 5 points on Jack. I think that's a 9-point victory if I'm not mistaken. Unless Sophia manages to get close enough, but I don't think she did. But anyway, and 2 power hits is what I got in the end of that. And no further rewards, however that's fine. Sophia was pretty much the class act of that race, no doubts about it. And yeah. And Sophia did wind up taking 2nd in the end as a result of her winning. So it's a 6-point margin of victory over Sophia. Then we had Jack finishing 3rd as a result of him dropping down to 6th in that race. Jason comes home P4. Then we had a tie for 5th between Ray and Frank. Ray gets the tiebreaker as he scored more points in the final race. Katie finishes P7, and at the back it was Sally, who finished last in the first 2 races, and also finished last in the first 2 races, but finished 5th in the final race. Anyway, there we go. Level 2 is done, and I get another 2,900 credits for winning the cup. 2 golds and a silver. As I have now unlocked Royal Flush. Her boy. And we have also now unlocked our level 3 cars, starting off with Bullet, which I think is based off of a Dodge Challenger, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to look at the rear end to be sure. Yeah, this is definitely based off a Dodge Challenger. I'm sure it is. We also get the Lentus, which is based off of a Chevy El Camino, if I'm not mistaken. And it also has the number 69. Nice. Yeah, that's definitely a Chevy El Camino if I ever saw one. We also unlocked Ventura, which I think is based off of a Pontiac GTO. And last but not least, we unlock the... Oh, that's it. Okay. And we unlock level 3, as we get a 12,000 credit bonus. Cool. And we are now halfway there with the race class. And I think I will need to do some more grinding before we get on with our next few events, because I'm going to need some pretty good upgrades for this when I choose my next car. So that's probably what I'll be doing before the next episode. However, that is not coming today because, well, I don't feel like recording another one. So, next time on FlatOut 2, Urban Racing Cup.